Hey, how's it going, everybody? It is Mike, and today we are going to be cooking some pork shoulder. This is like one of my favorite things to cook now, and it's super easy to do. It does take quite a while to cook, depending on the size of pork shoulder that you buy, but the prep time is like 30 minutes, and then you just kind of leave it in the oven 300 degrees for about an hour a pound. So let me kind of show you how I put this pork shoulder together. First thing you're gonna need is a really nice pork shoulder. I have a Boston butt here. And then you're going to need a quarter cup of olive oil, or not olive oil, sorry, extra virgin olive oil. So I guess that is olive oil. So a quarter cup of extra virgin olive oil, some Goya, or if I can speak, some Goya all-purpose seasoning, a couple packages of this Goya here, and some lemon juice, salt and pepper to taste. And then I like to line the pan with white onions, very thickly chopped, and then a bunch of garlic. Now, garlic's to taste. I like garlic. Use a couple cloves, and this is about 6 cloves that I have chopped up. And first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and make some incisions into this piece of pork, and we'll stick some of that garlic into this pork. So you can just make a couple incisions into the pork and grab some of your garlic and kind of shove it in there to get a little extra garlicky taste. Now, like I said, I'm a huge fan of garlic. You can skip this step if you would like, but I like garlic. So we'll just go ahead and fill in some of these cavities that we created. You don't have to go too crazy, but there we go. Get a nice good hole, maybe one over here. Kind of fill that up. Alright, so once you get the garlic stuffed into the pork, we can kind of set this aside for the moment, and we're going to make a little rub for this. So it is a quarter cup of extra virgin olive oil. You can go ahead and throw in some garlic to this, a little bit, some garlic chunks. You're going to do 2 teaspoons of this Goya seasoning here. Look, I got a little extra garlic chunk there. Let's throw that in there. All right. So we're going to use 2 teaspoons of this, and if you go a little over, I kind of do it over top, so it's going to be a little over 2 teaspoons. But there's 1, and then a little extra. It's a good chunk of meat, so I like the seasoning. So 2 teaspoons of that, and you're going to use 2 of the packages. Oh, as I throw it at the pork, you're going to use 2 packages of this Goya seasoning that you can find at the store. So you just go ahead and dump 2 packages of this in there. There's another one. So 2 packages of that Goya seasoning, and 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. You can freshly squeeze lemon or buy some lemons that are already done for you. This is a little bit easier. So 1, 2 teaspoons there of lemon juice, and then I use a little kosher salt, and this is to taste, probably around a teaspoon or so of salt. It is a big chunk of meat, but these seasonings also have some salt in them, so you don't need to go too crazy on the salt. And then some nice fresh ground pepper. Also, you know, this is to taste, but remember, it is a big piece of meat. So there we go, some fresh ground pepper in it. Now what we want to do is mix all of this together, and it's going to be kind of like an oily paste we're kind of making. What we'll do is we'll cover the whole entire pork shoulder with this, and then we'll cover it with aluminum foil and pop it in the oven. So once we've got a nice consistency, everything's mixed together. What I like to do here, and I mentioned before, we got onions, so I like to take white onions and a nice bed of white onions. And what happens is these white onions end up absorbing all of this flavor and seasoning, and when you mix it all together, it just, I mean, it tastes delicious. Like I said, this is one of my favorite things to eat. So anyway, take your pork shoulder, go ahead and make sure there's nothing on it there. Rest it in your pan on top of all your onions, and then you can take this seasoning and just dump it over top your pork shoulder. And it's just gonna, a the way. Kind of just dump it on top and just cover the pork in this little rub seasoning that you made. And go ahead and get it all over on the sides. It is going to turn your hands a nice orange color, but it is delicious. All right, and then I like to take the rest of my garlic and I'll just throw some more garlic on top in the pan. Said I love me my garlic. There you go. So now all we're gonna have to do is cover this. I cook it at 300 degrees for roughly an hour a pound. What you want is that pork just to fall off of the bone, and it will just give it some time. You stab it with a you stab the pork with a fork, and you can just start pulling this thing apart, and it is delicious pulled pork. So I'm gonna go ahead, let's go ahead and get a cover on this. Let me wash my hands, we'll cover it, get it into the oven, and then we'll see what it looks like when it comes out. All right, I washed my hands off and I got some aluminum foil. You just want to go ahead and cover this. And this will let all the juices kind of stay and steam with the pork because it's going to be in the oven for quite a while. You know, cover that really tight. Also, I've noticed before, if you don't get the heavy duty aluminum foil, sometimes the aluminum foil, for being in the oven so long, starts to burn the top of whatever you're roasting. So just be aware of that. Heavy duty aluminum foil is the way to go, especially when covering stuff in the oven to prevent it from burning. So yeah, well, let's pop this in the oven, and then in about 6 or so hours, it should be done, all yummed up. I mean, it's that easy to put together. Let's get it into the oven and let's see what happens. Okay, so now this has been in the oven for about 5 hours. I just took it out, removed the aluminum foil. Like I said before, if you notice, this is heavy aluminum foil and it's starting to burn through a little bit, even with the heavy aluminum foil. Had you used a lighter aluminum foil, it would have burnt right through. You'd had a big aluminum foil mess on the top of your pork shoulder here. So basically, I take some of this juices here that have collected in the bottom of the pan, and I go ahead and baste the top of the pork shoulder with it, and maybe get a little couple onions up there. And it's real close to just, I mean, completely pulling apart. This has about an hour left in it. We'll pull it back out, and it's gonna be delicious. So about an hour uncovered here at the end. All right, so here it is right out of the oven, the pork shoulder. Now what you wanna do is go ahead and just start ripping this pork apart. It should start falling right apart. If it doesn't start falling apart on you right away, then it probably needs to get put back in the oven for a little bit longer. But I mean, it should pull right apart. Here we go, watch this. I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about here. This bone's just gonna be no meat on it at all. It's probably a little bit hot. Let's see if I can grab this up out of here. Look at that bone. Look at that, one little piece of meat. Oh, I guess I held it up a little too high in the camera, but there it is right there, right out of that meat. Good piece of meat right there. Just toss that in the garbage and just go ahead and start pulling this pork apart. And I like to serve it with some yellow rice. Grab your yellow rice here. Just cook your yellow rice like you usually do. A little bit of water, some yellow rice. Nice pile of yellow rice on the plate. Take your pork, and you just probably get a bigger spoon. Hang on. So you get a nice big spoon here. You grab some chunks of meat, onion, throw that right in there. Get some of your juices in there with it. And that's it right there. Check that out. So tell me that does not look delicious right there. You have the Boston butt, your pork shoulder with some yellow rice and white onions. It's just a delicious meal. Like I said before, it is one of my favorites. If you liked the video and would like to see more from me, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.